Hello, I'm Nikita.
And I'm Je'Bree, and you're listening to Be Do Have, a podcast about our personal journey that led us to create who we want to be and do things from that place of being to have what we want and need.
Thank you for joining us as we explore several different love and fear based concepts and the experiences we draw to ourselves because of those powerful energies. So, welcome to this week's show. We will be tying all of those natural emotions together. We have a special guest. It's my mom, Sharitha Wade, and she will be tying those emotions together, which are love, fear, anger, envy,
Grief.
and grief. And she will be talking about those emotions from her point of view, her perspective, and her experiences. But before we get started, we'll just kind of touch on any highlights from our week or any epiphanies, and I'll go first. So, my week has been pretty chill. I have been on this journey of honoring my feelings more and being more transparent about how I feel and being more honest with how I feel to myself. Apart from that, I've been setting intentions. And for my day, I've always felt like I could only set my intentions when I'm about to engage or interact in an activity, or if I'm, setting intentions with, a situation or in relationship to someone else. But I've actually been setting my intentions for the day after I meditate. And it's crazy because whatever intention that I set for the day, I'm consciously aware when things come into, my universe and my reality that doesn't align with the intention that I set for the day. And I'm able to, move through that or not let it really affect me or not identify with whatever distraction or whatever, anything that comes up that doesn't align with my intention. So, it's actually pretty cool. It's been working out for me. It's been amazing. So if I set an intention to have a great day, or if I set an intention to be productive, like throughout that entire day, like I'm hella productive, or my day is hella bomb. So that's just something that's been working for me. And, maybe anyone out there listening, you want your days to go a certain way. Will recommend, trying setting an intention for your day and seeing if you get better results. But other than that, work was okay. The kids were okay. And that's pretty much it for me. How about you, Jabri?
Um, so I'm definitely down with setting intentions for the day. I don't think that I intentionally did any of that this week. This week has just been like really just focusing on launching, my other side hustle. So I did that on 420, and I think it was a pretty decent, success. Still trying to build it. Um, and then overall, just listening to my body, just trying to, make sure that I get enough rest. Sleeping a lot. Just rest, recuperation, and recovery. That's pretty much all I've been doing all week. Work was cool. Um, Busy as usual, but I don't know. It's still things are moving really slow for me, and I'm still loving it. So yeah, I mean, real chill, super chill week.
Nice. Happy to hear it. So I'm going to introduce our guest. Her name is Sharitha Wade. And I'm going to just kind of open the room up for her to kind of tell us a little bit about herself. Um, how long you've been on your spiritual journey or anything that you want the world to know about Sharitha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharitha Wade. Thank you, ladies, for having me. I am Nikita's mom and Jabree's older cousin. Um, I guess I've been on this journey my whole life because I've always had questions. But when I started to get answers, I want to say it was in the 90s when I first read Conversations with God. And I also got um, Ayama's book. What's the name of it? Anyway, it was a journal. And it kind of started to make sense to me, the whole spiritual thing and pulling it all together and the meaning of love and fear, joy, grief, anger, envy, those kinds of things. Um, so, yeah, here I am. I just want everybody to know it's just not something that happens overnight. It's not anything that ever ends. It is a journey, it is a process. Um, it is wonderful, and we should all embrace it.
Amazing. I love that. Um, One thing I want to just kind of touch on that you just said is, the journey being a process, and that how you need to embrace your own journey and kind of go to the beat of your own drum. It has never like, or not it, but like you have never like pushed religion on me or spirituality or your beliefs on me. You just kind of like, if I come to you, you would give me advice and let me go with it from there or go at it from there. Like, what was your intention and idea behind that? Just kind of like not wanting or not having to push religion or your belief on like, you know, people around you.
Because it's a very personal journey. It means it's different for everyone. Um, I don't think that I'm sent here to make you do anything. I'm just present. You have to find your own way. My way is not going to be your way. I can only tell you what has worked for me, and you have to take life and make your own story and what you want it to be. I can tell you what works for me, but that might not work for you. And I think a lot of parents or elders make that mistake of wanting it to be just so this way or that way. And that's just it's so many different ways of being, doing, having. Um, you have to allow everybody his own way, even your children. And it's not easy all the time, but that trust and faith comes in there. So I can only live my life the best way I knew how, and hopefully you would end up living the best life you knew how.
It's definitely a good point that you put, I mean that you put out there. I never felt like, my mom actually pressured me into like a specific religion. Now, granted, when I grew up, like everyone else, I had to go to church. It was, kind of, I think that discipline, was kind of drummed into me of, having to go, which I'm not gonna say it's a good thing. I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but I never felt like, okay, like I was gonna be disowned if I didn't believe in God. Um, I also think that just, I don't know, like growing up the way that I did, like it was easy for me to just go on kind of autopilot, which me and Nini have talked about, in previous episodes, and not explore, for myself. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is something that, we do on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I read a little bit, I believe a little bit. When I had questions, I asked myself the question, I asked my mom the question, and I explored, but I don't know, just kind of like that monotony or that routine. It did kind of enable a little bit of laziness on my part, so to speak. So coming into, our first, my first Soul Squad Sunday conversations, and even now to where I'm, intentionally, purposefully asking myself the questions and not just kind of, checking out and being lazy and going a little bit deeper, even if it does hurt my feelings or, bring up other things. Um, Now, as I'm walking through this journey has been amazing, and I really feel like if I would have did it, back then when I was kind of in the church or like deep rooted into religion, I would have missed a lot, because I mean, yeah, I think it's just religion is just like anything else. It's just like going to school or going to a job. You get out of it whatever you put into, kind of, sort of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But to piggyback on what you said, and I think that phrase, if you're looking for the answers, then you got to ask the questions. You have to ask the questions, and I think that was always my thing of why would I be punished? Like just some of the things in the Bible that didn't make sense. Why would I be punished if I do this? Why would that um, upset God if I did a thing if you already knew that I was going to do the thing? You know what I mean? Like if you know all, why would I be punished for something you knew I was going to do already? So those were the questions that were always on my mind. Um, and I think it came from my mom that she would always ask the question. So she was always going against the grain when it came to that. And that made me sit and look and ask, what else is there? Like, this really doesn't make sense to me. The ritualistic, the rituals of religion, that part. So, yeah, but however we get here is however we get here because those questions are there anyway, and we're not led to any place that we don't want to go. So those questions were there, always have been there. You just had to arrive at that place.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I definitely feel that.
hmm Yeah,
Definitely.
because you were too ready. Like you were so eager and so like, it was like a woosah. And I think it was for everybody. And to me, I always kept it to myself because people don't quite understand. Um, and I don't want to get into debates of things that I already know. So I just leave it at that. But yeah, you were ready. You were definitely ready. I can't. I remember looking at your face like, what? Because what are they doing? What are they talking? What are they saying? Like y'all letting me up in this mug. And why nobody called me? Oh yeah, it's always there somewhere. When it comes out is the thing. When it surfaces, when we're able to grasp it, when we honor it, is the thing.
Right. So we can start with fear since that's where Jabri and I started. So, Mom, can you kind of tell us your concept of fear?
A concept of fear. I guess my concept, and that's really all it is how everybody else sees it, something that makes you afraid.
Okay. When does fear typically show up for you?
Um, when I'm getting ready to do something new, when old situations resurface that you kind of have not completely conquered or gotten over. Um, and that's about it.
And when those situations resurface, how do you normally overcome that fear from the previous experience that you had?
Okay. So one or two things you can do when fear shows up. Either you can go forward or go back, right? Fear is typically we need it, right? Because it's a warning, right? In situations. So it lets you know, it gives you that little thing in your tummy. But when it's something new, now I can rationalize what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling. And either I'm going forward or if I was in an alley or somewhere, then I'm turning around. But if it's a situation, uh, I mean, your spidey senses go up. Now I've learned to go forward. So we talked about it last year, and I have broken up with a lot of my fears. Like I really haven't had any lately. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, do they come up? But I know what this is. I can identify it, and I know that I'm pushing forward. So fair for me